All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Joachim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And it's the brother Quara Abad from the GMS Houston camp. And I want to go into another lesson, and Lord willing, it do be edifying. And now it stems from, I was thinking about a verse in Genesis, and we'll get that here in a few, right? But I know it's a verse that we often, hear when we going into the story of, Adam, Eve, and as people would say, the serpent, which wasn't an actual snake. It was a man in a garden, a man living at that time as well. And it wasn't an actual apple that he gave Eve to eat. And, Adam partook. It was philosophies, ways of life, different beliefs, things to get into. Which I'll say this to paint a better picture. Ultimately, at the end of the day, because all Adam and Eve that was the chosen people before we was called Israelites. That was the chosen people before we was called Israelites, before we was called Hebrews, so on and so forth. And now when you think about what happens when we go off as Israelites, what happened when we went off, in Judges and, in this different captivities, the Lord cast us off because we did what? We was believing on other gods, being like these heathens, doing what the heathens do, which ultimately would lead to death. Is the point, ultimately would lead to death. Now, going back to Adam and Eve, back then, before we was known as Israelites, that was the sons of God. Adam was the son of God, but that was the chosen people. And because we went off, and Eve listened to that, as they call a serpent, but he was a man, Eve listened to him. And then what? They started following the philosophies and doing certain things that the other nations did. And that's why the Lord ultimately, put the curse of Adam starting at that time on the chosen people, man. But the point I want to go into is that, so like I just want to give a little background, but the point I want to go into is that when it came down for Eve to partake, she was like, nah, look, the Lord told us don't partake of, that tree of good and evil. We'll get it. Don't partake of the tree, in the midst of the, don't eat the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden. Right? Don't be among these nations. Don't be like these other nations. And the serpent told her, thou shalt not surely die. Now I want to say this. In Eve mind, Adam mom, because they was very green back then. They only knew righteous. They only knew good. They was innocent. Right? So in the chosen people mind, it was a thought that like soon as they partook, they was going to die. Like as soon as they did something the other nations did, they was going to die. Or to put it how the world put it, as soon as they bit the fruit and chewed it and swallowed it, Eve was thinking they were just going to drop and just is over with, just dead. Right? But the serpent told her, thou shalt not surely die. Let's go ahead and get that. We spoken of. Thou shalt not surely die. And that's the point I want to make. Thou shalt not surely. That's the point I want to make. Because the so-called white man, that spirit that was in that serpent of old, that was the same. That is the same spirit that was in, or should I say, that was the same spirit that was in Cain. That was the same spirit that was in Esau. That is the same spirit that's in the Edomite descendants even to this day. Now he set up a system around us, especially catered towards you Israelites, to make y'all go off. And the thing is, how the system is set up and what you doing, you don't think it's going to lead to death. Thou shalt not surely die. It ain't going to kill you right away. It's a gradual system set up around you that's going to kill you, man. That's going to lead to decay. That's going to lead to death. That's going to lead to sickness, weakness. Being cursed by the Lord, man. And Esau set that very system up. Thou shalt not surely die. Right. He gonna let you have fun of your wickedness. Then eventually it's all gonna catch up with an individual. And if not in this world, by way of sickness, by way of many judgments the Lord could do to a man now, it's still gonna catch up with a person when the judgment and wrath for the Lord come. See, listening to the serpent, listening to these heathens, you might not just die right away. It's a chance you could, but it's a gradual thing. You following their way is gonna lead to your death, man. But let's get this real quick. This is Genesis 3, chapter 3. And I'm going to start at 1. Genesis 3 and 1, it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. And that beast is going into people. It wasn't just Adam and Eve back then. If it was when Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, right? And Seth, when Cain and them found their wives, how did they find wives if it was just Adam and Eve and 4 people? No, they had other people. It's just Adam and Eve was highlighted among the chosen people. They was the main characters at the time, man. But going back to this, Genesis 3 and 1, it says, now the serpent was more subtle. So the serpent, that spirit of Esau, which he wasn't a white man back then. That's another point to make. Everybody had melanin at this time. He didn't get cursed and stripped of his pigment until the Lord cursed Cain. So it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, talking about the serpent, said unto Eve, to the woman, and he said unto the woman, yeah, have the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the tree, we may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, right, among the nations, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So look, they think as soon as it happened, we just gonna die. You better not touch it. Right? As soon as you partake of these nations' customs, as soon as you start believing in the gods they believe in, eating the foods they believe in, even them thought they were just gonna die. As soon as they get close to it, look, it are in terms, eating an actual apple as the world think, or actual touching a tree, right? They thought they was gonna die. But watch what the serpent gonna say. He like, oh, die? Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Ye shall not surely die. So it's truth in this, and it's lies in this. You gonna die, but it ain't gonna happen right away. Not surely die. See, the serpent was more subtle, and he knew that. He knew certain ways wasn't right. And look, the thing is, over time, I'm sure he's seen the righteous ways that the sons of God, the Adamites, was doing and how they was living at the time. And he wasn't living like that, and his wife and them sick, and his family sick, because they live different, right? And I'm just extrapolating on that part, but they live different. But the point is, he knew certain things could lead to decay, man. And he knew it would lead to death. Right? It says, and the serpent said, and I'm about to start a little walk. So, y'all gonna walk with me. We're gonna walk and talk it. Right? But it says, Genesis 3 and 4, it says, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For the Most High doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, that your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when a woman saw that the tree was good for food, so Eve was like, for real? She was like, for real? For real? He said that. Now, mind you, let's just keep reading. So she was into it. For real, we ain't gonna die? So in the world terms, she was like, oh yeah? She went to the tree, as they think, and she picked the apple and bit it. She was like, I ain't dead. We ain't dying. But in a sense, she was intrigued with getting into the things the nations was doing. Remember, it had nations around, just like Jake today. Remember, this was the first time we was going off, in a sense. This was the beginning of us going off. And what Jake want to do? You know, back then when we was in the land, they seen how these heathens had more freedom. They ain't just had to live by laws and codes. You know, they seen they was partying, they going to festivals, right? And you know, late night debauchery. Jake wanted to do it too. They wanted to do it too. They was intrigued just like Eve was. It says, verse 6, and when a woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes and a tree to be desired to make one wise, right? Now, because at first, remember, they was green. They only knew they was innocent. It says, to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open. They heard about orgies, right? They heard about different gods. They heard about probably certain drugs of the ancient world. I'm just extrapolating, right? Things they partook in that the nations was doing. Remember, this was the first time Jake started going off. So think about how Jake was today. They started partaking of what the heathens was doing. Think about that, man. So look, death ain't come right away. And that's what I want to expound on. Esau set up a system to where, just like that serpent, death ain't going to come right away. But guess what? It's going to come. It's going to come. That was his job. That's been his job since he was in the garden. Well, how much more now since he ruled the earth? Come on, man. It says, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Now check this out. It says, and they heard the voice of the Lord power walking in a garden in the cool of the day. Now, that's the prophets. That's the voice of the Lord. Prophets was out back then. It says, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. Now they trying to hide. Now they trying to hide because they getting rebuked. Now they among the nations trying to hide. You see? It says, and the Lord power called unto Adam and said unto him, and I'm just kind of finishing the story, and we'll get a few scriptures that expound on kind of what we're talking about. Because the perfect verse to go with this is that Ecclesiastes, 8 and 11, because the Lord ain't judge. We'll read it, but because the Lord don't judge people right then and there, they think they good. That's what Eve was thinking. Her and Adam, we down, the Lord ain't, They thought as soon as they did it, they was looking up like, wait, he gonna judge us. He ain't do it. Next day, he gonna try it again. Eve went to Adam, gonna try it again. Yeah, shit, come on, let's go to the party, right? And Eve started asking for more, wanted to do more. Just like a woman today. Then eventually she probably, tapped Adam on the shoulder. What you think about doing content on only? I'm being funny, but eventually they started doing too much. Right? Getting into it because death ain't come right away. And because of that, judgment of the Lord came, man. And look at us today because of that. But let's finish reading. And it says, and the Lord power called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree thereof, whereof I had commanded thee that thou should eat not? And the man said, the woman whom thou gave me to be with, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord power said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me. He got over on me. It was a serpent. That's why Apostle Paul said that about in Corinthians about being beguiled. Sticking to the simplicity of Yahushua, unless you get beguiled by the serpent like Eve did. You see? Having this truth, man, walking according to this truth, unless in this world, unless we be beguiled by the serpent, by Esau's system, like everybody else in Eve was, man. Like everybody else is and like Eve was. Because look, again, the serpent still got things around us because, and this is another big thing, and because Esau ruled the world and he over the governments and laws, because he passed laws for things, people think it's okay to do. Because he said so, people think it's okay to do. Mind you, because Eve heard the serpent say so, she did it. See, the Lord don't like it. You see, the Lord don't like it But because the serpent said it's good to do, she thought it was good to do. Because Esau ruled the world, the Lord say same-sex marriage, that's according to death. But Esau said, we're going to pass it in all 50 states. You can do it. You can do it. Because Esau sell pork in the, you feel me, in the stores, package and, you want some pork rinds? People think it's okay because Esau allow it, but what the Lord said well, those who still eating pork, he gonna come and kill them, according to end time prophecy. See, so just because the serpent say stuff, people do it, and just because when they do it, they don't die right away or get judged right away, they think it's okay. But a reminder, it's that same serpent of old. It's still gonna lead to judgment and death, man. That's the point of the lesson, And it says the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this thing, thou art cursed above all cattle, which shows this is Esau. He's cursed above all nations, all cattle, all people. Just like Cain was cursed, just like Esau was cursed, just like the people are. This show you this was that same spirit. It says, and above every beast of the field, because Esau know that now he really about to, because he understood that. Now in these times, and him knowing, the elites knowing it's their last time to rule, they really going all out and beguiling the people, making them go off. Look at what they put in our food. Look at what they put in the air. See, it ain't things that's killing us right then and now, but over time, thou shalt not surely die. You gonna die, but it ain't just now. Or a lot of people, it is just now, just like with the CV juice and the jab. That's another thou shalt not surely die. Oh, you go be good. But now you see people got side effects. That's another thou shalt not surely die. See, as many thou shalt not surely dies that people don't see, and things liken unto what the serpent told Eve, but they don't see it in this world because it's legal in this world. It's allowed in this world. Nobody considering the standard of the scriptures though. Let me see, that might be it. Yeah, cursed above every beast of the field, and upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life, But let me get this real quick. But matter of fact, before I get at Ecclesiastes, I want to get this just to show you that's a spirit that the so-called white man had to bring in the earth. Deception, just death and decay. So everything this man doing, the laws he passed, it ain't for our health. It ain't for our betterment, man. This Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, Esau Edom, which was that serpent. It says that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon. Who was the him? Esau. Power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And that started back then. Think about it. Everybody was chilling. Adam chilling. He ruling. He the man. He had respect in the earth. The animals respect him. Shit, he named them. Right? He had Eve. She living. Servants, man, we was ruling. We was living. We was good. Things was good. This was pre-diluvian. Ain't no flood. Everything was in perfection, man. Everything was in perfection. We was chilling. But the serpent said, well, do you know what? I'm going to fuck all this up. I'm gonna mess all this up. This shit too good. And you seen that's from the beginning, that spirit that was in that man, that serpent, as they call a serpent, that man, that's the same spirit that was in Cain and Esau, man, which that same spirit trickles down into their nation. I'm going to mess everything up. Let's read it. Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. See that? Let's get Revelation 20 just to show he came out to deceive the world. He wasn't being straight up. He was being partially honest with Eve. He wasn't being straight up, man. Yeah, he said you was gonna die. You ain't gonna die. That's what he hit it with. See, that started, how, like so-called black people, when they trying to make their point. Like, for example, they're like, man, you know Steve? They're like, man, Steve who? And you'll say, man, Steve. They're like, who? Man, Steve. And I'm like, oh, I know you talk about. Right, that's what the serpent did. Eve was like, yeah, we gonna die. He like, die? I mean, you gonna die, but you ain't gonna like die. That's what he hit her with that. You ain't gonna die. You ain't gonna like die right away. You could do it. See, he like, the Lord just don't want you to do it because you gonna be smart like him. You gonna know everything. So she was with it is the point, man. And look where it led us. He deceived her. Revelation 20:4, and that's what Esau's purpose was in the earth. Revelation 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were... Nope, that's not it. Here it is, verse 3. Revelation 20:3. And cast him, that him is Esau, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is this the time Western Rome fell, and a Byzantine Empire, or better known as the Dark Ages, began. And Esau, he was shut up. He wasn't ruling no more. It says, and shut him up, and a seal was set upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. Because even at the time in the Roman Empire and in the Greek Empire, he was deceiving the world. But the Lord took that power from him, and it says that he should deceive the nations no more until the 1,000 years be finished, until the Dark Ages are done, the Byzantine Empire fall, and then what? And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Guess what? We still in that little season. Meaning what? Everything around us is deception. It ain't real. It's many thou shalt not surely dies around us. It's the point. It's so many thou shalt not surely dies around us, and people don't see it because it's in the store, because you can buy it. They don't think it's going off because you can have a subscription. Because the serpent said it's good, so they think it's good, not knowing because you doing it, it's still gonna lead to either death and judgment now, or you're gonna be literally led to the end of the world, into these plagues that's coming, or fire at the end. Because you thought what the serpent said was good, and ain't never consider what the Lord wanted, man. But let's move on. Let me get what that is, Ecclesiastes 8:11. And that's why we see the world the way it is. Like I said, now what that is, Isaiah 24. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The people of the earth languish and fadeth away. Why? It says because the inhabitants of the earth have transgressed the law, right? Because the rulers of the world don't know how to rule the world. So therefore, everybody is mourning. Everybody is languishing, man. Times are hard. Death and life hard. Why? Because Esau told the world, thou shalt not surely die. Now the world's engulfed in the same things he told them they wouldn't go die for, and now everybody dying. Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. So because people don't get judged right away, soon as they do something, or soon as they touch the tree, or soon as they eat the apple, as soon as you partake in, or as an Israelite, soon as you partake in things of the other nations, it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. You okay with, oh shit, I got away with it. And now you think you gonna keep getting away with it. And I see, that's how the Lord get niggas. They think we can keep doing it. Nope. You see? Because eventually, that thou shalt not surely die, you gonna surely die, man. I'm gonna read the NLT. When a crime is not punished quickly, people feel safe. People feel it is safe to do wrong. Come on, man. Yup. Let me, matter of fact, let me get this Tobit, because I did think of this too. Tobit 4:13. Let me get this real quick. It's Tobit 4:13. It says, let's just show you what a society like Esau will lead to. A thou shalt not surely die society, what that'll lead to. Tobit 4:13, it says, now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy sons, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people. and not taking a wife of them. That's the point. For in pride, and Esau, the serpent system around us is a prideful system. It says, for in pride is destruction and much trouble. So much trouble and destruction is coming. It says, and in lewdness is decay. And everybody is very lewd in the society we in, and that's have led to decay. And look at the garden. Because Eve now followed that serpent, it over time led to decay. Wow, look at it. If Adam and Eve could come here today and go look at the location the garden was in, which is, over there where Israel at, and the land that our forefather Abraham was given, if they was to go look at that portion of land today, and from what they remember, they'll say, this ain't our land. This ain't it. It's dry now. It's just dirt and dust and have, bombed buildings. Come on, man. But look what it led to, because of a decision following the serpent of not thinking you go die for judgments that the Lord said you gonna die for or get judged for. Now look at it. It's super decayed. So it says, for in pride, October 4 and 13, for in pride is destruction and much trouble. And in lewdness is decay and great want. And lewdness is the mother of famine. So great judgments coming to the world because people thought they wasn't going to die for what things the Lord said don't do. Especially you Israelites out there. Let's get this Sirach chapter 5. We'll end it on this. Sirach 5. And that's what the scriptures say. That's why I got scriptures saying stuff like, the Lord will come back to give every man according to his portion, his what he been doing on earth, right? According to what each person been doing. See, the serpent, he ain't taking you to jail. He ain't putting you on charges for the things that you offended according to the law. But the Lord is still coming back and still gonna judge the world for legal things that's legal in this world. Man, that's cool. See, the Lord still going to come back and judge people for things they was doing in this world, although it was legal and lawful in this world. Think about that. The Lord come and judge people for the things they have been doing in this world, although it's legal and lawful, and you're able to buy it and just do it freely in this world. He still come and judge people and kill people, even though you can do it in this world. Why? Because he said don't do it. Going back, if Eve would have just listened, he said don't do it. Just because you ain't dying now don't mean you ain't gonna die later. Sirach chapter 5, and let's start at 2. Let's start at 1. It says, set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough of my life. Don't think, we just good. It says, follow not thine own mind and thy own strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. Don't just do what we want to do, man. The Lord, he said, what it say? What the scripture say? The Lord have given straight commandment to such as be that came to the earth. The Lord gave us simple instructions on what we should do when we came to the earth and what to do not to be judged, man. Matter of fact, what that is, let me get that real quick. Giving straight, I know it's a 2nd Ezra 6 commandment. Come on. Nah, it ain't coming up. Giving. Man, come on, man. Second Ezra 7 and 21. For the Most High have given straight commandment, right? Simple instructions. It ain't nothing difficult. For the Most High have given straight commandment to such as came to what? To the earth. And as what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. So the Lord gave simple instructions when people came to the earth, what we should do to avoid judgment and what we should do to live. And just because the serpent said, nah, you ain't got to do it like that, don't mean you ain't got to do it like that. No, still do it how the Lord said, because the serpent don't matter. See, the laws here don't matter. And that's what we understand now. Let's go back to wisdom. Let's finish it off with Sirach 5. Sirach 5 and 2. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. That's what the serpent pretty much said. Thou shalt not surely die. Oh, yeah? See, the Esau don't think nothing gonna happen for what he doing. But it says, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. Say not, I have sinned, right? I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? That's Eve. Once she got into it, oh, we ain't done. I still feel good, you know? Yeah, the serpent said, see? Yeah. He was shaking his head, yeah, rubbing his hands like Birdman. He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. But it says, say not, I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? Because nothing happened right then and there. She thought she was good. And she said, but it says, for the Lord is long suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. Don't be like that. Just because it happened once and the Lord let you get away with it, don't think we just okay to do it again and just keep doing. No, man. You see? Especially if it's unlawful, right? But it says, and say not, his mercy is great. Oh, man, God is good, man. Just go ahead and, God good. Jesus love you, right? Oh, man, you can do it. All you got to do is buy the subscription. All you got to do is, go here. All you got to do is go there. Because you can do it don't mean you should do it. It says, and say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. Come on, man, that's God, man. Man, come on, he good. So you say you gonna be mad at me for eating pork? Yeah. So you say you gonna be mad at me for doing? Yes. So people think, man, that's God, man. He love me, man. We his creation, man. He love us. Yeah, man, no, they don't know. See, you don't know, baby D. You don't. I've been funny. You don't know the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. You don't know Allah Shadia, man. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. See, this is what people don't know, the next part. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. Yeah, he is merciful, but he's very wrathful, and he judged too. So this is the overall point. It says, so make no terror to turn to the Lord and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. See, in a day that a man comfortable in his wickedness, continue to do it, continue to eat that fruit, listen to the serpent, doing what the nations do. Guess what? One day it's going to change. Suddenly, the Lord going to knock on that door. It's time. It's time. Grim Reaper, it's time. Right? Because you listen to the serpent. It says, make no terror to turn to the Lord and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed. See, in the time you thought it was all good. Just because you thought the Lord ain't judged you in past times, in your security you think everything all good. But it's gonna be one day that it's gonna be different. And if not one day, guess what? Just in Jacob's trouble is gonna happen. So don't listen to the serpent, man. And it says, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So judgment's still coming for those who think shit okay because it's legal in this world. Remember, Eve thought it was good too, even though the Lord told her it wasn't. But I'm going to end it right there, Lord willing. This lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rachak Wadash, and with that, Shalom.